Good afternoon, everybody. What I'm going to try to do today is I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how you can build your own inline spinnerbaits. Now, there's no real set way to do this. You can use lead bodies like I'm going to be using today, or you can use bullet bodies as I have done with these. I use a bullet and an egg weight together to make this one, or you can use your double tapered end bodies to make lures like this one. But the lure we're going to be making today is going to resemble this one. This is my Black Beauty lure right here. It's an inline spinnerbait, full lead body, and I'm going to be using a rubber skirt, if you can imagine that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. The reason I like these spinnerbaits so much though is because they are perfect, absolutely perfect for fishing rivers and streams and stuff like that. They're real good about catching, depending on what size spinnerbait you're using, you can catch brim, bluegill, crappie, bass, both largemouth and smallmouth. I have caught catfish with them. I have caught pike with them, northern pike and chain pickerel out of the rivers. Mostly in the south you catch pickerel, but they're excellent for those type of things. Now, the materials you want to use, ideally you want to use stainless steel. That's all I'm going to use anymore when I make these things. I had to use cheaper means before because I was just getting started in this, but you always want to try to use stainless steel wire for the fact that it won't corrode on you over time. Now, in a pinch, this is what I had started out using. You can use welding wire, and this is a 25 thousandths, whereas my stainless steel is a 31 thousandths. A little bit thinner, a little bit more flexible, and the downside to it is it does corrode over time getting wet like that, but it works well, very pliable. Alright, now first thing I want to do is I want to make the bend. This is going to be to the base of the lure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here like this. It's going to come around, make a bend like that. So we're going to come around again after I get it in there and make another bend like that. You're going to come up with this hairpin looking deal like this. Now, I like using this particular device here. This here's a tackle maker. I got it off of Lure Parts online. That's a good place to go get your stuff. I got a lot of my lure parts also from there. And that's a good place to go to get some parts and stuff for your lures to do this. You can also use items like this pliers right here. You got these little round needle nose style benders, or you can use this type of stuff right here to bend them, or you can just put a nail in a vise or drive a nail. I've seen people do all kinds of ways, and take regular pliers and just wrap around that, and it works really well. But me, I kind of like simplicity, so I'm going to use this deal right here. And there are better machines than this one, but this one works very well for me. So I'm going to put this wire, there's a little hole right here, you put that wire into there, you put this part of the wire into that slot, and then you run that part of the shaft. Come around, there's a little groove right here that part fits into, and I'm going to give it a 3 wrap. So you go 1, 2, and 3. Alright, and it gives you a little deal like that. Now I'm going to take this little snipper here. I'm going to cut that excess off. Alright, so now we have this body. Now, the reason I'm making this style body, this is going to be the base of the lure, by the way. The reason I'm doing it this way is because this is a 31 thousandths wire. It's thicker. The 25, when I was using it, I was able to double the wire over, like when I used this lure right here. When I made this one, I was able to take that wire and double it over and fit the 2 ends down that shaft, down that hole, out the top, and you can see it's bent right there. I think I bent that little piece over. And what that does is that holds that lure body in place so it doesn't slide up and down the shaft. Now, with these, going straight like it does, of course, you'll get play up and down the shaft. That's going to happen because we didn't have it made in place like the other one. So here we go. We're going to take and put this in there. This is our Catawba worn body that I'm using. And if you want to mold these, you can go again on Lure Parts Online. You can get these fancy little molds and stuff. You can mold variable sizes of your lure. Not very expensive. And as far as putting these bodies on, you don't have to put lead mold bodies on these things. You can go get plastic beads like these. And you can put those on there. They work well. You can go get the metallic beads. You can get plastic beads. You can get beads from a jewelry store. It don't matter where you get your beads. You can get them from Fred's, or you can get them from Walmart or any other place that sells like little jewelry making kits. You can get them bags full for cheap. Me, I kind of like the molded bodies, so I got the molds to make that, and this is my Catawba worn pattern. Okay, so what we're going to do now, that we have this in place, we're going to take some of these little number 5 yellow plastic beads that I have over here, like this right here. I'm going to put 2 of those on top, just like that. Keep it in the camera frame there. Right, those 2 on top, like that. That's going to give me a bearing against this. Now the blade, we're going to take this little number 3 clevis that I have. Little small little guy. They're the little horseshoe style. And you're just going to put it through this little clevis. You're going to put it through the number 4 French blade. I'm going to put it on. And you want to make sure that this indented side here is the side that goes towards your lure. So once you establish that position, you do this, and there you go. See, the pushed out parts on the outside and the indented parts on the inside. There you go. Spins free. Yeah. And I like to finish it off with putting a little smaller one. This is a number 3 bead. Very clear. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll put that on top. Gives me an additional bearing for what I'm doing. Now, we're almost there. We're going to take and put this lure in there like that, and I'm going to hold it firm because I don't want it to go forward. There we go. We'll wrap that around like so. Bend it. Okay. Then we're going to come back over here and put that back in like that. Do our reverse bend like that. And then we're going to take these pliers. I'm going to cut a lot of the excess off because we just don't need it anymore. Okay, leave this right there. Alright, now we're going to put this back in our little device here. Make sure all your beads and everything are back here. Make sure you go over that post like that. And you roll this around so it snaps in place and come all the way forward. All the way forward. Butt it all the way up. Watch your lure. Make sure this blade doesn't get into anything. And then you roll it over. For me, it's 1, 2, 3 times again. Boom. Some people do 1 twist, some people do 2 twists. I've seen people twist them halfway around the daggum thing there, but there you go. Cut that little piece off, and there's the main body right there. It's done. Alright, now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take, and that's why this is built the way it is, I'm going to take this skirt here, comb it out a little bit, and I'm going to push this down inside there like that. See that? Just like that. And there's the exposed piece out of the bottom. I'm going to lay it aside for a second, because now I'm going to take this hook, which is a number 6 treble hook, and I'm going to put it on a number 1 snap ring. And you can use any size snap ring or hook that you want, but this is the size that works for me on this. Start off by that. I like doing it this way. I'll have the hook started in there. That'll have it gapped open. And then I'll take and snap that part to here like so. And that gets it started. Then I'll take my little needle nose pliers like this right here. And I'll grab it and I'll spin it around like so. There we go. See that? That's on there pretty good and tight. Not going anywhere. And that's a completed lure, folks. And a lot of people look at me crazy when they say, why'd you put a rubber skirt on there? Well, that's just the way I like to do it. And in some cases, when you're doing these things, you can grab maybe like one of these little stressed out troubles. Some folks do this. I do it sometimes. I just didn't do it this time. I chose the rubber skirt on this time because I think that's going to work a little bit better for what I'm doing. These are designed primarily for bass, large crappie, smallmouth, largemouth, and sometimes pickerels, pikes, whatever. Larger game fish. Pull that down. So we got plenty of room. You want plenty of room between this net. You need to have room for that to slide. Because if it gets jammed up on there, it's going to cramp up your spinner here. It's going to mess up your clevis, and it won't spin freely like that. So this is my Catawba worm design, as I call it. It works very well in all your rivers and streams around here. Clear water, dark water. If I want to fish dark water, I'll use this one, the Black Beauty. I'll use it for the darker waters, and this one for my clearer waters, sunny days and stuff. If it's cloudy even, I'll use this one in clear waters if it's cloudy. But on a clear day, I'll use this one in clear water. And I'll use this one in the darker waters. So there you go, folks. That's how you make these lures. That's how I make these lures. But it just gives you a general idea of how to throw these things together. They're very easy to make, very cheaply. You can make them very cheap. You don't have to buy all the components. You can use components out of your tackle box. Like if you have one of these spinner baits that's messed up and it just don't work anymore, you can take it apart and redo it, just like I did this. So everybody, I want to thank you for coming out and watching what we're doing here. Thanks for everything. And we're going to take these out and test them out on the water. And hope we gave you some good ideas on how to make your own lures. So with that in mind, we're going to get on out of here. And I want to say good luck with your fishing. Good luck with your lure making. God bless all of you. And have a good evening. Bye-bye.